What's up, y'all? I'm Miss Megan Liana, and welcome back to Be Fck'n For Real. Unfiltered takes and unapologetic truths. Took a little break for the summer, you know what I mean? Had to enjoy at least 1 month, okay? I may not enjoy all three, but I'm gonna get me one good one in there. But it's been a lot going on, y'all, and we back. It's like you could take a month off to enjoy life, but the bullshit gonna keep on bullshitting, and we gonna keep having to say, be fucking for real about what is going on. Now, listen, okay, he ain't the one to gossip, but Young Thug had a lot to say while he was in jail. Now, all week there have been plenty of his jail calls getting released. Right now, before the jail calls got released, there was the video that was released where supposedly it was him snitching. Now, I'm gonna get into snitch culture in a second, but when that video came out, next thing you know, all his calls have been, it's like every day there is a new call coming out. And so far, I have learned that he really felt like Gunna was a snitch, but then he realized that he was just mad and misses his guy. Uh, he was mad Kendrick Lamar didn't give him a free feature. And if somebody is giving away something for free and you don't get one, they just don't fuck with you. Another thing is he thinks Glorilla is ugly. Uh, the nerve. The nerve of a guy that looks like that calling somebody else ugly. He is also mad that Drake didn't ask the president to give him a pardon, even though Drake is from Canada. I don't think he understands how the presidential geography and territories work. And also, it came out today that he was cheating on Mariah, his girl Mariah, the scientist. Now, um, that's a lot. That's a lot happening all at once, right? And so much happened and so much came out that he had to do an interview, like a podcast interview, and kind of just own it and just take it all and give his piece. And one of the things is that I don't know who he pissed off, but for that shit to be coming out every day consistently, you could tell he pissed somebody off. And the thing is that these calls are public record. Like when Thug first went to jail and they released his calls with Mariah, the scientist, and she was like, "Am I your baby?" That alone should have told him, watch what you say. It should have told him to watch what he says and to really just proceed with caution, because first of all, anybody that's in jail, they know what to watch what you say when you're on the phones. I don't know if he thought that because he was talking about famous people that they wouldn't release it later, but clearly whoever had a vendetta against him made sure they got all that shit out. But one thing about me is that, like, okay, I'm a civilian, right? Like, I don't gang bang. My family don't gang bang. Growing up in LA, you may be gang affiliated, but I'm not a gang banger, right? So as a civilian, I believe in, calling the authorities when needed. And the thing is that I don't subscribe to snitch culture, right? Because I feel like some of the hardest gangsters have a little bit of snitching. Like when you look back at the mafia trials, right? When it was Gotti and all of them, all of the head mob bosses were taken down by a snitch in their crew. If you want to take it further to the Black parties, the Black Panther Party, the Black Panther Party was infiltrated by their own. it was their own snitch that it was a snitch within that betrayed the Black Panther Party. Every group has a snitch, and the biggest gangster has a price, and their price is their freedom. If they can get a little more freedom than you, they will probably snitch on you. So and they live. Like, this whole perception of snitches get stitches, like, I don't think that it's as prominent or as relevant as, you know, Twitter culture or social media culture would like it to seem that it is. And what bothers me the most, like, for one, okay, most of the calls, Young Thug was either on the phone with his friend or with his girlfriend. Like, that's just venting. That's just talking. That's just chit-chatting. That's not really, like, snitching, right? I mean, we all pillow talk. Everybody pillow talks with their spouse. If you don't pillow talk with your spouse, then your spouse probably ain't your BFF. I'm just saying. But I have said this before, and I'll say it again. Men love to gossip just as much, if not more, than women. And if you want to disagree with how much men love to gossip, I challenge you to watch podcasts hosted by men. I guarantee you will see a lot more gossiping than you would expect from a group of men. But what also, you know, stands out to me is what has gotten lost in all of the snitch talk with this Rico YSL case. People really lost their lives. Like, there was part of the Rico case is that Young Thug was said to be the leader of the YSL gang, right? But on top of being the leader of that gang, he was orchestrating and ordering the hits of people. So there was a drive-by murder of Donovan Thomas Jr., rest in peace. He also is said to have orchestrated, or was allegedly orchestrated, the stabbing of YF and Lucci in jail. And it is also suspected that Young Thug was the one that set up Lil Wayne's tour bus to get shot. And part of the video where he was snitching is he was supposedly, I think, snitching on the person that did it, right? But no, to me, I don't think people got upset enough that Young Thug possibly tried to get Lil Wayne set up and killed in a drive-by on his tour bus. Like, there was no beef between Lil Wayne and Young Thug that would have warranted YSL trying to shoot up Lil Wayne's tour bus. And I don't think, in the conversation of all this snitching and talking shit and all that other stuff, I don't think we're focusing on the facts of the case. And it goes back to the issue, in my opinion. A lot of these rappers now be head of, like, these Ricos and be trying to, like, just straight up get people killed. And look at why Lil Durk is in prison. He's facing that Rico charge. When you look at what happened to Tekashi 6ix9ine and all them dudes that he snitched on, and the murders and things that he was a part of, and the jumping and stuff like that. Like, too many of this generation's rappers are rapping to stay gangsta. And it's like, once upon a time, like, when you look at, like, the Jay-Z's and the Dr. Dre's, like, they weren't necessarily gangsters, but they lived a life that you were trying to get out of. Shout out to Yaquisha. She is always forever watching. Thank you, boo. And she said law enforcement leaked the audio to get back at him. I believe it, because they leaked all the audio. Like, and I was thinking, like, you know how, okay, like, I've had friends in jail, right? And you literally can only talk on the phone for like 15 minutes. I don't know if it's different in I don't know if it's different in Georgia, but those calls are only 15 minutes. Those were a lot of 15-minute phone calls of, like, straight gossiping. to get all that tea out. And another thing I realized too in his leaked calls is that nigga is entitled as fuck. Like, he really felt like he was this hot ass rapper. He really felt like him, Lil Baby, all them little young niggas was the hottest in the game. And it's like, y'all are hot for a moment. Everybody that was hot has literally fizzled, except for Gunna. Whatever Gunna did getting away from that shit, and call him a snitch if you want, Alfred plea, whatever. Gunna's still hot right now, and Young Thug is apologizing simply because he got caught up talking too much. But another instance where people just be talking way too much is with Ciara and her husband, Russell Wilson. Now, Russell Wilson and Ciara are supposedly giving Ciara's first son, Future, who is her child with the rapper Future. They're hyphenating his last name with Wilson, right? Now, they're married. They have 3 kids together, and baby Future, well, he's not a baby anymore, but Lil Future is her firstborn, who does not share their last name because he's not his father. The thing that gets me though is the commentary, like this shit that people just have to say. Now, this is from the Pivot podcast.
I didn't expect you to double down on it, but
what you want me to do? Say, oh, nigga's cool now. This ain't never gonna be cool.
No.
It's in his blood. It's in his kidneys, his liver, his gallbladder, his intestines. Lame is all through him, and it's gonna be there his whole life, Freddie.
He's not us. Like he's not gonna be hanging out in the clubs with us. That's just me. I know a lot of guys ain't gonna go and go where I go or do the things I do.
Yeah.
Right? That doesn't mean he's corny.
He wears white drawers, the little tight ones. That's just he's not. I'm not fooling with that. From where I come from, I'm not fooling with that dude.
Here's my thing, right? Future is a deadbeat. Like, he's a rich deadbeat, right? And I think that we classify a deadbeat dad as like somebody that maybe doesn't, pay for their kids or contribute financially, but he's a rich deadbeat. Like, he pays to not be bothered. He pays because he has to, and he doesn't seem very present. Like, if you look at how Russell has, first of all, he's been around the boy since he's like a year old or younger. Like, he's been around him. This isn't like he just came in and gave the last name. Second of all, they're married. And I don't understand why men get so mad at a man that is choosing to be inclusive and take care of a child that isn't his like it's his own. Like, people really are calling this man corny when Future's the corny one. Young Thug, even on one of his on one of those leaks, he was talking about how Future ain't around for his kids, don't do shit for his kids, keep getting this one girl pregnant and making her have abortions. Like, he's a scumbag as a father. But Russell Wilson is the corny one. Like, I don't, and for this guy to say, oh, where I come from, he's not one of us. So you just come from a bunch of deadbeats? That's what y'all honor? Like, I don't understand where the disdain for the man that steps up comes from. And I really think it's just rooted in the hate towards women. And I'm not even the type to always claim like, oh, men hate women, but men really, really hate Ciara for getting pregnant by Future and being able to start her life over. Like, I think people would be happier if she was if she had the struggling single mom story. Sorry, my dog is playing and he's laying by the tripod. So if y'all see my camera move, it's him. Jesus Christ, pets. But back to what I was saying. I think people really love the struggling single mom. And the story of the redemption and the finding love again, I think people have a disdain for that. And it's like, why can't a woman who fell in love, and then her and like let's not get it twisted. Future did put a ring on it. Future did propose to Ciara. She wasn't just his baby mama, like she was engaged. She thought they were getting married. I don't know if anybody's ever been engaged to a fuckboy that they thought they were going to spend the rest of their life with, but I have, and you really be believing that shit when you in it until you realize you're just the square that they married to get over. And that's literally what Ciara was, in a sense. That's what it seemed like to Future. But when we talk about the culture and corny and where we come from, or when Black men talk about that, it's like, what makes a man corny? Like, why is masculinity tied to being super hard and unloving? Like, why is you're corny for loving somebody's child that you didn't birth? And at the end of the day, I think it also boils down to people not honoring family. Like, no one can understand what it's like when you're in this household and everybody has that same last name but you. And I think that what they're doing is the right thing. They should and they're hyphenating it. From what I read, they're hyphenating his last name. They're not even, it's not like they're taking Future off the birth certificate. It's not like they're ripping away his last name and his parental rights. And I think the problem is that people just want something to be mad at, and they're mad at the wrong one. We need to start holding ain't shit fathers accountable, and we need to start holding ain't shit fathers accountable with Future. And if he gets another bitch pregnant, or when he gets another girl pregnant, because I think he has like 7, 8 kids by now. I can't count because every time I'm looking at a T-blog, they say he has another one. The next baby mama, we should hold him accountable. And Tia said he could have asked to change it. Exactly. Like, no one knows what goes on in that household. And so you can't speak on what that child is feeling. And you can't speak on what brings together that family unity, period. Moving right along. This guy, Druski, had people in quite the tizzy this week. He came out with a skit. Druski is a Black comedian. If you don't know, he's known for doing skits. He also has his show Could Have Been Records. And he came out with this skit that has a lot of people upset.
Here's the love, here's the honor. If you can't come in her, come on her. Yeah! Yeah!
Now, okay, so sometimes I think white people just want something to be mad at, so they find something. And this was their topic this week. Now, it brought up the question of whiteface, right? And I want to start by making something very clear. Whiteface cannot exist, just like reverse racism towards white people cannot exist, because they were the ones that created it, what both of those, based off of their superiority, right? Or their perceived superiority. So it can't be reversed whiteface or reverse racism, because there's nothing racist about this compared to blackface, where blackface was actually created and rooted in black stereotypes. This is the guy who played Sambo. And blackface was created in the image of portraying black stereotypes in minstrel shows. It was rooted in racism from its inception. And so when Theo Von decides to hop on Twitter and say, what did he say? Let's get into this. He's going to say, oh, let me get my jheri curl and paint and makeup, or find me jheri curl and makeup because of this. Here's the thing, right? There's a difference between portraying stereotypes and cosplaying a character. Like, we can't call white, like, I think if white chicks came out today, I think people would try to call that whiteface. But we've seen other instances where a white person has portrayed a black character, like Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder. And that shit was hilarious. Like, no one took offense to that when it came out. And I remember it was 2005. I actually think I was working at Blockbuster Video at that time. When it came to video, I was actually working at Blockbuster Video, so I was able to get that DVD and we watched it. But it was hilarious. I think he even was nominated. He was nominated for an award for that role. But I say all that to say, what Druski did was more of a form of acting, cosplaying. It's a skit, right? He's playing a character. Um and it's his whole body. It's not just his face painted white. And that's another thing. When you compare blackface to Druski, and I'm going to put them both up, look at blackface and look at what Druski did. It's clearly two different things. And so now, if Druski was sitting there and he didn't use the proper makeup to play a white character in a skit, if he just took straight white paint, painted his face, drew some itty bitty lines for lips, then we could call that whiteface. Then I'd be like, okay, he did a bit much. Like, that's drawing the line. But when you look at a skit, you can't call it the same thing. And I think a lot of times white people just want something to be mad at. And here's the thing, right? Theo Von. If Theo Von were to actually play a character and get the jheri curl and do the whole, role, I don't think Theo Von is that funny where he could carry that. I don't. I mean, he might have some good writers on his team. He may be able to pull something off, but I think that we have to remember the origins of blackface. what makes blackface racist and stop looking to what black people are doing, because we've seen Dave Chappelle play a white character. We've seen on the Chappelle show, he played the news reporter. We've seen Jamie Foxx play a white character. And we've seen other white people on Saturday Night Live play black people. Tia said they want to be oppressed so bad, and that's the point. They want the oppression without having the same roots of being oppressed. And you can't be oppressed if you have the upper hand. Like it doesn't work that way. And frankly, I hope Druski does another. I really hope he does another skit, and I hope he pisses him off again, because it's not the same thing. And I think that people need to tread lightly. I'm going to say that. Tread lightly, because in the wanting to be oppressed and wanting to prove a point, somebody going to do some racist shit. I can guarantee it. And whatever racist shit they gonna do, it's gonna backfire, and it ain't gonna get the reaction they want. And they may not get canceled, but they gonna have to do some backtracking. But we gonna see. We gonna let that one play out. Another thing we gonna have to play out was something that made me really side eye some shit this week. So I gotta clear my throat before I even talk about it. Commander-in-Chief, Orange Man, Trump, that guy. This week, he rebranded, and it's so weird, like calling something a rebrand, right? Because it's like, it's just the name of an office, but everything with him is marketing and all that shit. So he decided to rebrand the Department of the Defense to the Department of War. And it's basically to say that we are on the offense and not on the defense. Now, when I hear that shit, to me it sounds like he about to start some shit. Especially when you think of the timing of it, right? So this week, China held their largest military parade. They also hosted Russia, India, and a lot of other countries. And Western countries were excluded except for like 2. So, but in this military parade, they displayed new weapons, some drones. It was some fancy shit. Like when I was watching that parade, I was like, that's the parade Trump wanted when he did that thing on his birthday. That's what he was going for. And yeah, I think he did this Department of War thing in retaliation or in response to what China did. And also, one thing that doesn't really sit well to me is just like the fact that they changed the name and the message. Like, we have 2 leaders that are not really leaders, right? And I say that because the president, one of his roles is commander-in-chief. So he's in charge of the nuclear button that could blow anybody up in the world or some shit like that, right? Then we have that Hegseth guy who has never, ever led a war at all. He's not a general. He never even made it up in the ranks to be running this department, right? And the fact that like 2 of them are running our military and they change the name to the Department of War, and they do it because they want to show the world that we are on the offense and not on the defense. Like, I am a complete person that I understand, like, words have meaning, words have power, but renaming us the Department of War with those 2, I don't trust it, especially after this China thing and the way that we have ships line up in the Caribbean. We just we bombed a boat in Venezuela of people that they said were bringing in drugs, or they were cartel, but it said that they might not have been that. And then some people are saying it might have been AI. I don't know. All I know is those two are up to something, and I don't trust it. And in doing a little research, I will say that because he signed the executive order, and this is actually just restoring the previous name that was assigned by George Washington to that department. Little fun fact of history, who would have known, right? But I think that regardless of the name, your military is only as strong as your leader. No one takes these guys serious. Like, I really feel like they look at them as a bunch of clowns and buffoons, and that's why the president of China had that bomb ass military parade, and even Trump knew that that was possibly assigned to him. But another thing that really bothered me, this has like a double-edged thing, right? Another thing that bothered me about this name change is because they have been releasing the military on U.S. citizens. They've done it in Los Angeles. They've also done it in DC. And now he's talking about doing it in Chicago. And what he said was, I love the smell of deportations in the morning. Chicago about to find out why it's called the Department of War. And then it's Shapocalypse. First of all, I am so okay. The memes that this guy posts drive me up a fucking wall. Between the memes on Donald Trump's page, the memes on the White House page, this administration is so unserious. The AI, all that shit. Like, it be fucking for real. You guys are fucking like leaders of a country, and you represent us with jokes. And yeah, shit's funny, but this ain't funny. Shapocalypse, like, you can they didn't even put any thought into it. It's just Shapocalypse with the AI image. Trump, no, he don't even look like that. But I digress. Part of the other thing that made me kind of side eye their intentions with the name of war is, it like, okay, are you really going to just continue to go to war with US citizens or in US states on US soil? Because he has continuously threatened that he is going to deploy the military in the states. So he has Chicago, Baltimore, and basically everything that is led by a black mayor or a black governor or a sanctuary city. I think he said Boston too. It's his list. He has a long list of places that he is planning on deploying military. And even though it was already said to be illegal, it was ruled illegal in the case of California against the Trump administration. He's still doing it. And that's the thing. It doesn't matter what's illegal. He's going to do it anyway. So if it's illegal to deploy the military against U.S. citizens and he does it anyway, he doesn't care. And I really think that, because if you look at what happened in DC, they are detaining Black Americans, right? And this video that came out, this is another one that, to me, I feel like it shows what his intentions are. I'm going to play this video real quick.
That's fake news. When you say that, darling, that's fake news.
Well, why would you the Department of Defense?
Listen, be quiet. Listen. You don't listen. You never listen. That's why you're second rate. We're not going to war. We're going to clean up our cities. We're going to clean them up so they don't kill 5 people every weekend. That's not war. That's common sense.
First of all, who the fuck you talking to? The way he be talking to these reporters, like, I wish somebody would just hit him with a, who the fuck you talking to? Because who the fuck is he talking to? But that's also, it's also a little demented, right? Because he posted that Chicago was going to find out why it's the Department of War, but then when asked about it, he denies it and says, "Oh, we're not going to war with our citizens." So what were you saying? And then when you talk about what the murders in Chicago, yes, Chicago has been called Chirac. Chicago is known for extreme gang violence, and I'm not going to act like there isn't an issue in that city, right? But I believe what Trump wants to do, and I've said it before, he is using these, I feel, to similar to the gang injunctions that were happening in Los Angeles, that the city got sued for because it came out that it was basically racial profiling, and they didn't have the due process to just gang everybody up for being affiliated or thinking they're a gangbanger or being in gang territory or around a gang member. I really think that this is just a new form of stop and frisk, but they don't have to stop and frisk to find probable cause. They're just rounding up Black and brown people. They're going to round up a lot of gang members or supposed gang members or people that they suspect are gang members just by the way they look, the way they dress, the way they act, and where they live. And they're just going to arrest them, and they're sending people off to other countries. They are sending U.S. citizens, they're deporting U.S. citizens to other countries. So, and it's not, they're not just rounding up illegal immigrants or immigrants. So it's scary. And I don't think that people are taking that very serious. And I think that, let's say, so like prime example, Kilmar Brego, when he came back, he talked about some of the abuse he faced when he was at CCOT prison. When another guy came back that was wrongfully deported, he spoke how he was sexually assaulted. There are a lot of crimes against humanity that I think are taking place when they unlawfully and illegally detain these American citizens and detain these immigrants. And I think that when the smoke clears, there's going to be a huge human rights issue. And the thing is that Trump is going to be dead and gone. Like, if you look at it, he ain't going to make it that long. Just last week, people already thought he kicked the bucket, okay? Because they didn't see him. He already has his health issues, his congestive heart failure, or whatever's going on, his circulatory issues. His ankles and legs are swollen to oblivion every time he see him. They're more and more puffy. So his bruising on his hand from the IVs, it's not going away. The dementia is dementing, and he seems a little more deranged every time they do a press conference. When it's all said and done, when he's not going to be here, the people who gave the orders will be. And Tia, you are right. We live in a goddamn twilight zone. Every time I watch the news, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I don't understand how this shit is happening. It does not make sense. And what's worse is how much of a pussy it feels like everybody is around him. It's like there are the people that are allowing it to happen, and then there are the people that are going with it and are on his side to like make the shit happen. And when it all boils down, it's like, what the fuck? How is this life? Because it doesn't make sense. And growing up, I never would have thought, especially after Obama. It's like I do understand how we went from Obama to here. But it's crazy. And I genuinely hope that this shit will not last much longer, because what the fuck? But Chicago, watch out, y'all. Y'all in trouble. He up there next. And the thing is that when he's done with Chicago, who knows where he's gonna sick the dogs next. Moving on. All right. I love this singer right here, right? Well, I don't love her. I mean, I like her music. Like, I like some of her songs. I'm not like a fan like that. I think it's because I watched her on a reality show. And when I saw her on the reality show, I was like, damn, she got a stank ass attitude. But Kelly Price had to give her black female fans a word. Let's hear what she had to say.
To you women activists out here, you DEI hires who getting ready to lose your job, if you haven't lost it already, because guess what? I haven't lost mine, and I'm not going to lose it. Because while you fighting for somebody in another culture to get your job, God gave me my voice. And yes, I'm letting you have it right now, because ain't nothing you can do about that. And while you looking for a new job, I'm still going to be selling out theaters and venues, looking like a fat slob in clothes that you said that I look nasty in, and my feet are so damn big, and who dressed me. I'm still gonna be making my money. I don't even do this, but I'm so sick of black people and their bullshit. I'm saying what I want to say. Black women, you are some of the most nasty, disrespectful people on God's planet Earth. The things that you say about other black women, but you're an activist and you are educated and you are this and you are that and you are the other. Find yourself, because a degree does not give you class. To you women.
Okay. So, couple things, right? I think that there are some layers to what she had to say. First off, it sounds like the pot is calling the kettle black, right? Like, you can't call out black women for being mean and vile and disrespectful, and then calling them DEI hires. Like, the DEI shit, that's just low. Like, because Kelly, black women are your fan base. Honey, if you don't have black women going to your shows and selling out your shows, you're going to be DEI hired too, trying to cater and cross over to white folks. First. Second, I do think that, okay, if all of your fans are black women, right, then, or if most of the people that view your content are black women, then that would be majority of who is commenting. Same as if you did reach a majority white audience or a majority Hispanic audience. Whatever the majority of your audience is who would also be leaving those mean comments, right? So I don't think being a mean girl or having jokes is racially specific, right? Like, I have seen some mean ass comments coming from white women to white women. I have seen mean ass comments coming to Hispanic women from Hispanic women. Like, women are just mean. We just got it in us. So crack to single out one demographic of women that is your core audience is more isolating than anything. Because yes, Kelly, you might be selling out some shows now, but if you alienate your core audience, what will you sell out in the future? Like, yeah, you're doing shows, but if black women aren't buying tickets, because baby, I don't think your fan base is black men. I don't think your fan base is white women. Like, Black women are the reason you are selling out these shows. And okay, let's play devil's advocate, right? They were talking about the outfit. And let's look at the outfit, okay? They were talking about the belt didn't fit right, the pants didn't fit right, and the shoes might have been a little too big. And maybe it's time to invest in a stylist. As you can see, Debo is right here. He wanted to say hi. And that's the thing. We have to, like, when you put yourself out there for the public, you open yourself up to criticism, right? Like it's there. So she has been in the game long enough. Y'all remember, listen, y'all might not remember. I remember when Kelly Price first came out, and I remember how huge she was. Like, she's lost a lot of weight, but I remember when she was, how big she was. And they, even on like her first album cover, like they didn't even do a full body pic. Like they only allowed her face to show. And they only it was this one video she had, like most of her videos, it would really be like, it was this one video, it was a fast song, right? And they had her sitting in this oversized chair, like this big ass chair, because she was so big, and that was how they made her look small. But she comes from a time where there was no body positivity. There was no big girl movement. Like, if you were big, you were shunned. And I say that as like a chubby girl who grew up in the 90s, and one of the population of Loki having an eating disorder because of it. Like, there was no body positivity back then. So I get it. She has been through a lot. And all that she's been through, I don't think that, well, you never know, right? It could be much worse because she has to see all the comments now. But again, Kelly, the outfit wasn't a good outfit. I mean, yeah, people are mean, but damn, like, girl, do better. It is what it is. Be fucking for real. Like, the proportions were not well thought out or well put together, and the shoes didn't gel well with the outfit. Now, I did saying something doesn't look right versus whatever mean comments she was getting, like, I get it. It could be a lot for a person to take. But all that going off, now when I want to see how long it's going to take for her to double back. And a prime example, y'all remember Daniel Caesar, right? Daniel Caesar, his core audience was mainly Black women. When he came out and was talking bad about Black Lives Matter at the peak of the Black Lives Matter movement, that second album came out and he wasn't selling, and he tried to, apologize and make it right. Daniel Caesar ain't been popping since. Tyla's album that just came out went triple cardboard because the Black women audience that she was trying to tap into, they couldn't reach, and she alienated her Black audience. So don't underestimate the power that Black women have when it comes to your ability to sell out these shows. Don't underestimate the power that Black women hold as that customer that drives you to the top of wherever you are in your game. I give it about, I'm going to say next year, right? I'm going to give it from now till next year because it's going to take time. And then imagine alienating your audience that like, Black women have lost the most jobs since this whole DEI shit started, right? So imagine you had a Black woman that was like your fan that you just fucking alienated, and now when she would have came to your show, she ain't, because she pissed off at you for what you said. It's going to be some humbling going on, Miss Price, and I can't wait to see how that happens, because y'all know I be right and I be calling the shit out before it happens. So just wait on it. We're going to give it at least a year, all right? And I be knowing shit because I be fucking for real about shit. And this is the place for unapologetic truths and unfiltered takes. All right. Now we gonna be back next Sunday and every Sunday, but also this Thursday, we gonna have our first live Talk Back Thursday stream where I'm gonna have two special co-hosts. I cannot wait for this show. I will be announcing the guests and the flyer is coming out tomorrow. So make sure you are following me on Instagram at Miss Megaliana so that way you can find out who will be hosting with me on Thursday for our first Talk Back Thursday live stream. And that's it, y'all. And wait, we got one more comment. Yes, Tia, your favorite show. I appreciate you always supporting, always talking back. I love you. I'm gonna see y'all next Sunday. We back in this bitch. And make sure if you like this episode, make sure you like, make sure you comment, and make sure you subscribe so that way you can see all my lives coming up. All right. I'm Miss Megan Liana, and that is it for Be Fck'n For Real. I'm going to see y'all next